Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jeremy, and today I'm with CoreGaming. How
Hello.
are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm alright. So, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name's Cor. I'm 20 years old.
Cool. So, how old were you when you started gaming then?
When I started gaming, I've been gaming all my life since I was like 2 years old. So, just straight out the womb.
Oh, for sure. That seems to be a very popular answer. So, what were
Yeah.
like your best memories with gaming? Like, since it's been with you for such a long time, it must have been something that's really a big part of your lifestyle.
Oh yeah, 100%. From sitting with I don't know if you remember back then when you had the wee toy
Yeah.
gun thing that you'd have to shoot at the TV from doing that all the way to Xbox, and then to laptop and then to PC and stuff. So yeah, it's been
Have you had other experiences with competitive gaming other than Fortnite?
not really as serious as Fortnite. Fortnite is the one I took the most serious. I played Overwatch season one, got top 50 in Europe, but I wasn't as dedicated to take it to the next level as I was Fortnite.
Yeah, so why did you decide that Fortnite was the game for you, that this was be the game where you take it to the next level?
I mean, it wasn't anything like just deciding it in any way. Honestly, it was just the right time when it came out, and it's just the love for the game that that made it happen like that.
Yeah, for sure. Do you
Mhm.
think like the fact that there's such huge prize pools is an important factor of you contributing so much time to it?
I mean, I guess a little bit, but I'd still be playing even if there wasn't the big prize pools as there is now. I enjoy the game. I'm not going to force myself to play it. It's just what I enjoy doing.
Yeah, I totally understand. That's awesome.
Mhm.
So, what was the first like scrim or competitive that you really got into in Fortnite? Do you remember it at all?
First scrim. I remember playing my first Articon scrim back with the Articon Discord. It was my first game. We bricked the lobby. I didn't know what bricking was back then though, so I just thought it was maybe like it was just an easy game, and then we won it. And I've still got it on my YouTube. I still look back and I'm like, oh, for goodness sake, bro!
Oh, maybe we'll
It was
put it in the
mostly top
video.
players. Yeah, it was. I uploaded it thinking like, that's my first scrim, my first scrim. I won it. Oh, I'm a beast. And then now I look back and it like there was probably like 10 other teams in it and then it was
Yeah.
just a pub basically. But still,
Yeah, it's
still
funny.
felt good.
Mhm. As you were like growing as a competitive player, did you have any like big inspiration or influences on the way that you chose to develop your play style or the way you chose to develop your stream or anything like that?
I mean, yeah, definitely. Whenever I see people doing good, I'm always looking at them and seeing and I was always seeing what to improve on. With that being anyone, and then of course stream as well. When you're watching them, I'm always looking at the stream, seeing is that something I'd want to add on my channel? Is that something
Hmm.
just to make it better? You know?
Yeah. And also, I hope you don't mind, but like when I do interviews, I kind of look into people online, but like
Okay.
not really like weirdly or anything. But I just
Yeah.
look at
Okay.
like their history of placements and like their rankings in the past, and I wasn't really able to find much about you compared to other people. And I'm just wondering if you'd like to tell me about tournaments that you've played in the past and how well you've placed in them.
I mean, my first Fortnite tournament that was probably the Winter Royale. I qualified for that, 160th or something, and that I didn't get through to the finals, but that was the first one I qualified, and that was when I realized I can actually compete at that level.
Yeah, for sure.
And then there hasn't really been many tournaments open to us until the World Cup warm ups and such, and not all them tournaments there. But yeah, and then once I've done all right for myself in the duos. The duo World Cup warm up, I got like 72nd, and then the duos week one or week two, whenever it was, week two, we got like 10th, and then of course the solos one where I qualified in fifth. So yeah, we've done okay for ourselves in the tournaments we've had.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I guess going into the upcoming weeks, you're going to be focusing a lot more on the duos rather than solos, considering the fact that
Yeah,
you've already qualified.
yeah, definitely, 100%.
So, as far as I know, right now you are a free agent in
Yeah,
Fortnite.
yeah, that's
And
correct.
would you say that's also contributing to the reason why that you weren't really exposed to many tournaments in the past, and that this is why the World Cup is such a big deal for you and why you're giving it everything you have is
Oh
because
yeah,
you just didn't have the exposure to this kind of competitive scene before, right?
Yeah, well, 100%. I mean, you think back, you think the secret skirmish that was invite only. You think back to the summer skirmishes. I just had to sit back and watch them go by. I mean, don't
Yeah,
get
for
me wrong.
sure.
Everyone that was in them are in their position to be in them, but still having an open qualifier and being able to just everyone to compete is why it's so good and why it really allows anyone to just give it their all and see what happens.
Yeah, that's awesome. And
Mm-hmm.
going into the World Cup, what would you say your mindset was like? Because as you are a free agent player who didn't have much exposure to high level competition, how did you approach this not really new, but kind of new situation?
I mean, I knew since I qualified for the Winter Royale, I've been working on anything that I lacked on since then. Mainly when I played the Winter Royale, it was pressure and anxiety, which really fucked me up. When I was playing that, like it was, but then working on that afterwards, I felt a lot more confident going into the other tournaments, which. And then I played the scrims every single day anyway, so I feel like I knew what I was doing in that sense. It's just, and when you come into a tournament setting, it's making sure you can still perform like you do every day.
Yeah, so your main focus was just to play like you do every day and to
Mm-hmm.
just relax and calm your nerves. That was like your main goal like, going into this.
I mean, don't get me wrong. A bit of nerves is okay, but it's like if you saw me when I was playing the World Cup, you know what I was talking about. Like my hand, I couldn't track any. My hand was shaking. It was my first proper competition,
Yeah.
so it was a whole new aspect to me, and that's what I knew I needed to work on for the next one. So I mean, having a little bit of nerves keeps you on your toes, keeps you alert, but having too much ruins you.
Yeah. In terms of confidence, then, would you say
Mm-hmm.
qualifying for solos would make it easier on your nerves when you're playing duos, or do you think it would make it harder since you feel pressured to qualify?
It depends on the person. Honestly, I mean, I felt like I kept it quite under control when I was playing it before, but I mean, I can see it could happen either way. You can either be confident about it, or you could be feel the pressure that you need to perform. But at the end of the day, like you just got to do your best in the day, don't you? You just got to do what you can do
Yeah,
and
for sure.
be happy with that, don't you?
What were you feeling and thinking when you found out that you'd be going to New York?
It was quite it was quite a shock at first, honestly. Like you don't, yeah, as much as I mean, every single day. I mean, every like the past 6 months or so, whenever it was announced, that's all people have been talking about. It's I mean, even though you really want to push to and you want to believe that you can do it and such, it's still when it actually happens, you're still like, oh, it catches you off guard. And like, I didn't. I mean, I was in shock, and then the next day when it actually settles in, you're like, I'm actually going to New York to compete in a tournament. It's like it's the best year ever, man.
It's definitely
Yeah.
life-changing. Who was the
hmm
first person you told?
I mean, as soon as I won my last game, as soon as I won my last game, I jumped into the Discord call that I was in with my duo partner Lolboom, who also qualified. He was in that, and then all the other guys, all the other group of people that are in that. And when I jumped in, I was like, yeah, I got 62. What did I do? Is that enough? Is that enough? And then they're like, oh yeah, you're chilling, and yeah, so that was pretty awesome. Then when I realized me and Lolboom qualified, we were just all it was just the call was a mess. Everyone was just shouting. We were just
Wow, that's amazing. So
it
you
was
and your
crazy.
duo partner both qualified for solos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's really impressive. Wow.
Mm.
And in terms of like your family and stuff, how have they accepted the news?
I mean, yeah, I went through and told them afterwards. They were pretty shocked at first. I mean, they knew I was earning a little bit of money, like, as in like little bit of money from tournaments, but 50 grand's quite a bigger amount than I was earning before. So yeah, they were shocked. They were shocked at first for the night, and they're just like really happy with it. And then the next day, they did a little bit of research into themselves, learning about the World Cup and such, and they got their head around it more. And they
Yeah.
were, but yeah, just once they now they're like I mean, don't get me wrong, they're my biggest fans before, but now they're like they know more about it. They're right in on it, and they are overwhelmingly supportive right
Yeah.
now.
So they're just like
Yeah,
totally embracing it and totally
yeah,
embracing what you're doing and what you've
yeah.
accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
100%. I mean, yeah, they they let me do my thing. Like I took a gap year at the start of this year to do stuff I enjoy more, such as Fortnite. So they were nice enough to embrace that back
Yeah.
then. So it's awesome to prove to them and show them that it was a worthy gap year. Is
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Most definitely a worthy gap year.
yeah.
In terms of your journey over the last year, maybe a bit more, how would you describe like not just how you've changed in terms of a Fortnite player, but how have you changed as a person when you've developed all these kinds of skills and met new people? Now you're like rising to the top.
Yeah, I mean it's been awesome. I just started doing it for fun back in March last year. With majority of games, I give it my all for a bit, but I lose interest in them, and then I switch to the next game. But Fortnite was one of the games that, well, one of the only games that has stuck with me for that long. As in, I mean, that's 14 months. I've never played the same game for 14 months. 14
Yeah.
months. So it's really stuck with me, and I don't know. I mean, as a person, when I started streaming and when I started playing Fortnite and wanting to take it to the next level, it was all just like a goal of mine. And when you see that come into fruition and like actually achieving it, it's like it's overwhelmingly just like satisfaction and confidence and just being like how can I not believe in myself now that I've seen this?
So that's an amazing change. That's like one of the hardest things really to develop is a
Mm-hmm.
sense of confidence. And it's so amazing that you have been able to do this through putting your passion forward and just,
Okay.
grinding
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. I mean, exactly. It's just doing what you love, isn't it? It's like
Yeah,
not forcing yourself to do it, just doing it every single day, and then it's just awesome.
just because you love it. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that's awesome.
I think we covered everything. Unless there's anything else, any bonus questions you're thinking of, but I'm happy with that.
What is your dream org to be signed to?
Dream more honestly. I mean, uh, I don't know. I don't want to say. I don't want to say any orgs in case it puts off other orgs,
Oh,
But there's loads of amazing orgs out there. Where me and my duo both qualified. We've had lots of people approach us, and the support's incredible. And it's crazy to talk to all these different orgs and to one thing just to learn about this whole thing. Like as a free agent signing to an org and such, it's all stuff that I never knew before, and I'm
yeah.
like having to learn and become your own boss kind of on the spot. It's a whole new world. To me, it's pretty crazy.
Going into the World Cup, do you plan to sign to an org before going to New York City or after leaving New York City?
As of right now, we are looking to sign to an org. We're on the lookout right now before to represent at the World Cup. But yeah, that's what we're looking for right now. We're looking for an org to represent at the World Cup.
So you heard it, folks. Make sure you talk to this guy. He's looking for an org. Thank you very much for your time.
Perfect, Magic. Thanks for interviewing me.